Hello and welcome to ERL Season 6 F3. We're kicking off with round 1 here at Australia today. Got some returning faces from last season, we've got some new faces. Not really sure what to expect here for the first round, but looking forward to it. See shortly who will be going out first on their laps. There's a Ferrari going out. Force India going out as well, looks like. No, Renault, Haas. So yeah, just gonna wait for one of these guys to get out on track. I think the first one out on track. Is it the Force India? There's someone ahead of him. It's the Ferrari of Tradeball Gillett, who is new to the league, I believe, this season. It's the first one out on track. Not really sure what to expect for the lap time around here. Maybe a 119, 120, around that kind of area. We'll see what these guys can do in just a minute. Two. It's like a Italian-based helmet for the Ferrari driver there, which is nice. Much as Ferrari, of course, being an Italian company. But yeah, title favourites probably going to be Ari here. Probably see a contest from his teammate here, Jacques. Giroud could put in some decent performances. Other than that, I'm not really sure about a lot of the drivers in this tier, but go on board with Tradeball here for his lap. First lap of the season for ERL, with F3 being the first tier to race. With F2 later on in the day and F1 tomorrow, I believe. It's a fourth gear now. Going up the gears up to the next little chicane thingy. A little bit wide on the exit. Really revving out the gears there. Into probably the trickiest part of the circuit here. Nice into the entrance, good on the exit. Could have carried a bit more speed through there possibly, especially on the exit, but it's not bad. Oh, looks like he's backed up on his lap here. So I think the Force India was the next one on track. So we'll see what Qatar can do here. I believe he's on a lap. He's going to set a invalid lap, I think. I don't know who's next. Swami has already retired, so that's interesting. But Astronaut sets a 23.0, immediately beaten by Footy's 21.2 and Race Action 21.7. Is Williams. He was on a lap. Got Yoke here coming around the final couple of corners. Ari's gone crazy for 20.8. No surprises there from the Finnish driver. What can his Dutch teammate do here? He's going to go for pole with a 20.8. So the Mercedes are looking pretty dominant at the moment. Jury's come to the end of his lap. I don't know if he's going to set a valid one. If he's going on to a new lap now. This one's a little bit wide on the exit. That could possibly be invalid. We'll see as he comes up the line. It's valid. He goes fourth with a 21.3. Tradeball coming around on his second lap, because the first lap seems to be invalid. He's coming around for his second lap now, into the penultimate corner, and into the final right-hander now. Oh, he taps the grass and slid around the corner there, and that's going to cost him a lot of time and his lap. And quite possibly those tyres, which could now be relatively warm. But he sets a 22.1 despite the mistake. Zhou is starting our lap. Ultimate's coming to the end of the lap. He was in the midfield last season, got some decently high finishes. I believe he might have got a podium or two, I'm not entirely sure on that. He's not on our lap though. Motoristi looks like he's on the lap. If I believe correctly, he had some good finishes as well last season. He's got the red glitch, which is always nice. He's coming into the final section of the track, number 70 on the Red Bull. Not a number you see often, but oh well. See what he can do as he comes to the line now. He goes into 9th with a 22.2, as most of the drivers are now coming back into the pits. I believe Zhou is on the lap low in his Sauber, the yellow helmet there. Number 13, I think that was. Interesting choice. It's a Force India, gets out of his way nice and respectfully. Both those cars number 13 actually, the Force India behind him as well. He comes into the penultimate corner on those ultra soft tyres. Actually check what tyre everyone is on. So some laps are on the super soft actually at the top, which is interesting. He goes into 5th on the ultras there. So, top 5 separated by a second. That's quite a big gap, although actually J Ghost has just gone pole on the ultras. I didn't realise that. But the 3 guys behind him are on the supers, which is a pretty good lap considering the tyre deficit there. Motoristi on the softs and Ultimate on the softs. So J Ghost currently on pole by 5/10 of a second. Head over Jacques. He's going to the lap here. Max Wheatley looks like he's coming towards the end of a lap. We'll see what he can do in his McLaren. Smooth through there. Nice again. Down to second gear for the left-hander, and up the gears into the right-hander here. He's lost ERS there actually, so that's going to cost him a bit of time coming down the straight, but he goes into second with a 20.5, a couple of attempts off pole of J Ghost on the ultra softs there. He's on the lap. Deeran's on a lap it seems here in this Ferrari. We'll see what he can do. He's currently not set a lap, he's down in 17th position, his teammate's in 11th. He's gone very slow through there. I doubt this is a quick lap. He might be setting up for one though. Thomas could be coming towards the end of the lap, although he has run out of ERS, which is very early place to run out of ERS, seems to have really been pushing on it. But he goes up into 5th on the super soft tyres. And Deeran's back into the pits, so yeah, not a lap time set from him yet. But cars are coming back out now, which is good to see. That's fitted. So yeah, Jacques and Ari have gone onto the ultra softs now, as well as Footy. XDLS Mill has actually gone onto the ultra softs as well. So has Riley. Ara's retired. What's happened there? Still got 8 minutes to go. He's in P4 currently. Set that lap on the super softs. I doubt that was a voluntary retirement. Would it be at fast left right? Let's see if I can find someone going through there. So it doesn't look like it. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him, but definitely unfortunate to retire with 8 minutes left in the session when you're one of the possible title contenders. But Jockey seems to be on a lap here. Ari's teammate, we'll see what he can do. Currently P3. In hot lap mode, presumably max fuel mode as well. Nice through here. Very nice. Actually, he's gone into 0 ERS mode, so he must have slightly cut the second part of the chicane there. And that's cost him his lap. But Giroux here, he's backing off it seems. Pussy coming towards the end of the lap. To the final corner now in the Force India. BRS just done now, but he's going to go up to second there, the 20.4, which is about 2/10 off pole of Jagos. That's a good lap from Fuzzy. That RFC looks like he's setting up to go onto a lap. Tardy seems to be on a lap, as does Race Addiction, so we'll go on with Race Addiction for his final sector here. Got a nice helmet to match his Williams there, number 73. He comes into the final corner, he's also run out of ERS. A lot of drivers run out of ERS onto the start-finish straight, it seems. But he's going to improve to P12 with a 21.5. I think we might just about get into the 1 minute 19s here towards the end of the session. From some of the top drivers currently. We will see. Deering's on an out lap, currently not set a lap. Only other driver not set a lap is Swami, who is retired from the session. Jago seems to be starting another lap. Schreibel is into the pits, he's currently P3. Next week we now starting a lap. Jacques coming out of the pits. Thomas is on an out lap. Riley is on a in lap presumably. As is Race Addiction. It's a bit wide there from Gattazzi, that might cost him his lap, possibly invalid. A bit wide again there. Seems like he's still pushing maybe. It's gone down to ERS mode 2 and he's backing off, so yeah. Looks like could be on a lap here. It's only in, okay, he's gone up to overtake ERS mode now, so it does seem that he's on a lap. Into the left right hander. Very nice into the entrance. Nice on the exit as well. Could have carried a bit more speed through there possibly. But he is on these super soft tyres. Yellow flags up ahead, so I don't know if that's just someone slowing down to let another car through, or there's been an incident, but doesn't seem to have affected Ultimate's lap, so it's good for him. Comes down towards the start finish line. Jagos has improved his time to a 20.062, as Ultimate goes P14 with a 21.6 on the super softs there. Jacques coming to the start at that. Max Wheatley's gone quick, so with a 19.9 on the ultra softs, so beating Jago's time there by just under 10th of a second. He's going towards the end of the lap. Giroux looks like to be coming towards the end of the lap. Was in F2 last season, I believe, so he's gone down to F3, so should be challenging towards the front of the grid. He's actually coming into the pits. On a lap. Deering looks like he's coming towards the end of the lap. This will be his first valid lap of the session. Runs a bit wide, possibly being valid, hopefully not for him. He goes P16 on these super soft tyres. Two Renaults currently rounding out the bottom of the grid. Can Jagos improve? No, because he's in a 0 ERS mode. As is Troy Ball. Jacques is on a lap. He's catching up to a slow Red Bull, it seems, or XDLS Mill. Hopefully he will get out of the way of Jacques in time here. Could cost him a couple temps. To the penultimate corner, nice and tight line there. And swooping it around into the penultimate final corner. It's looking to be a low 1 minute 20. He goes to a 120.1. Puts him off to P3 there on the ultra soft tyres. So that's most of the start of the lap now. Deering has retired from down in P16 on the super soft, so if he's had an accident or he doesn't feel like he can improve on that time, which is a bit odd considering it was on the super soft, so could be on to the ultras. Going for another lap there. So maybe it was just an incident. Riley coming towards the end of a lap now. Or maybe just start one, yes, we'll start one. Matt behind him looks to be starting a lap now as well. Trade ball possibly comes to the end of a lap, but Riley getting out of the way there. Revving up the ears quite a lot. Coming around to the final corner of the track. It's a nice line. He's not got too much of the exit curve, and he comes towards the line now. What's it going to be? He goes up to 5th, so only a 1 place improvement at 20.3. And he's gone straight on into the wall. He has lost his legs. His legs are absolutely gone at this point. XTS Mill is going to come to the line now. He's up to P8 on the ultra soft tyres. Who's going to see another lap? And XTS Mill is retired after that lap. I assume Katardi to start the lap now. It's 1 minute 50, so yeah. Interesting, is not pushing either. Behenden is on a lap in his Renault, currently in P18. Astronauti's retired from down in P19, so he'll be starting on the back row of the grid alongside Swami. So currently not a great time for the Renault team. Currently P18, P19, but hopefully Vahanen can improve that for them. So he comes into the final sector now. Jock's retired from P3, so he doesn't feel he can improve on his 20.1, so that's pole out of the window for both the Mercedes boys. Renault of Verhanen is coming into the final corner now. He will get one more lap after this one, if he has enough fuel. And he goes up to P16 on the ultra soft tyres. Ultimate's coming towards the end of the lap. This will be his only lap he gets to set. And it doesn't look like he's pushing, unless he's gone for a different line into that corner, but no, he's done a 1 minute 30, so he will not be pushing. Joe coming towards the line now. Looks like he's just starting that lap, so maybe I'll just start the lap as well. That's my bad, he did have time to get that lap in. Well, I don't know if Matt RFC will have enough time to get another lap in, so we'll see. As he comes into the penultimate corner. Bit of curve there, that's going to cost him maybe a tenth or two. But it's nice through the final corner. As he comes towards the line now. And he can only get V12. Who's on the lap? Near the end of it. Looks like Jacobs might be the furthest along the track at this point, so he needs just under a 10th improvement to take pole here. Max Wheatley is retired, so he will not be improving, but Jacobs has run wide coming into the final part of the track. That's surely going to cost him his chance at pole here. As he runs towards the line, Race Addiction is retired from P14. It's only it's not an improvement from Jacobs. Despite the little incident of running wide, he's not that far off his previous time, so could be one to watch out for in the race. Ultimate goes up to P11, I think that was. Gasardu coming to the line now. Drew's P7, I think. So yeah, Gasardu can only manage P15. So that is the first qualifying session of the season done. I believe it was Max Wheatley on pole, followed by Jagos. Jock in P3, Thomas in P4, Footy P5, Tradeball P6, Giroud P7, Ari down in P8. Hopefully we'll be looking to go up the grid, but he's starting on the super soft tyres, as is Motoristi in P9, XS Mill on the ultra softs, and drivers from P11 down will be able to choose the tyres they start on. So we've got Ultimate P11, Riley P12, Joe P13, Matt P14, Guitar Dude P15, Race Addiction at P16, Verhanen P17, Deering at P18, Astronauti P19, and Swami without a lap time in P19. So it's going to be interesting to see what the guys towards the back of the grid choose in terms of tyre strategy. Also be interested to see where Motoristi and Ari can get to on the super soft strategy from the top 10. As the drivers get their strategies sorted now, looks like it's going to be a dry, sunny race here for round 1 in F3. Hopefully the same in F2 later, otherwise I will not be enjoying myself. Especially after the disastrous season I had last season. Want to make some amendments to that, but we'll just have to wait and see. The drivers start to ready up for the formation lap here tonight. I believe it's a McLaren on pole followed by a Toro Rosso, so two cars you wouldn't normally see on the front row together, in real life at least. Just interesting to see. They're followed by the Mercedes and the Sauber, so they're off for the formation lap now. Hopefully everyone gets away cleanly, not too many disqualifications, but in terms of teams, it doesn't seem that there's one team that's clearly dominating at the moment. Renault looking like they're one of the weakest sides, along with Williams, who are both their cars out the points. The Mercedes look pretty strong, Jock in P3, RE P8, as do the McLarens of Max Wheatley in P1, Giroux P7. But we'll have to wait and see what we can judge after the race in terms of constructors. As Footy is the first driver to get disqualified of the season from the formation lap, so it's a little thing he can take away from this season, if nothing else. So coming to the final sector of the formation lap, everyone getting their tyres warmed up. See what tyre everyone is starting on outside the top 10. So it looks like super softs for everyone except Suomi on the softs at the back there, so looks like it's going to be a super soft strategy, and in Swami's case a soft super soft strategy. People starting on the ultra soft, they might stretch them out to try and do a ultra soft to soft, or we might see a two-stop of ultra soft to super soft, possibly back to the ultra softs, or maybe onto another set of super softs. But we'll have to wait and see as the cars now line up back onto the grid at the start of the race. Max Wheatley on pole with Jagos on his inside. Can Jagos get the start he needs to take the lead into turn 1? He's got the better line, but he does have the the less rubbered in side of the tracks. He could struggle for traction off the start. We'll have to wait and see as the back of the grid now lines up for the start. Really dodgy camera angles here. But the lights are coming on now. It's 5 lights, and the lights are out, and away we go. Is that a good start from Jagos? It looks like it's a good start from Jagos as he goes into the inside of Max Wheatley into turn 1. He takes the lead. Max Wheatley running a little bit wide. That could put him under pressure from Thomas behind as they run down into turn 4. Looks like there's some scrapping going on behind, but oh, there's contact there. That's damage for Thomas, I think, on the south. Further back we got the jockey running right there. He's going to get overtaken by Tradeball around the outside. It looks like Motoristi could be shaking up a move onto Ari. You think better of it. Don't need to go for anything too risky into lap 1. This Guitar Hero has actually spun, and there's a huge pile up further back here. Loads of cars off. Race Addiction's given a 5-second stop go collision for a collision with Guitar Dude, so that might have been what spun him, but Astronauti I saw sideways, Guitar Dude as well, so we're going to be seeing some cars into the pits this lap. But up front it is Jagos who is leading from Max Wheatley, who has a moment there coming out of the fast right-hander. Very easily could have been a race over him there, but we'll have a 4-way battle here further back for P3. Footy is into P3 currently. Thomas has dropped back to P6 after his wing damage. That's a good start for Footy there. He's up 2 positions into P3. Defended from Jockey. That's actually 2 Red Bulls fighting further back now of Motoristi and XTS Mill, as that is to make Thomas into the pits there. So could we see an overtake into turn 1? There's a Toro Rosso and a Haas spotting behind as well. They're currently side by side. A bit of lag there for Ultimate actually. Oh wow, that's not looking good. He is lagging a lot. Don't want to see that. But Motoristi trying to hang it around the outside of Riley there, but he cannot do it, and Riley gets through on the, well, I guess, sister team there, getting past the mother team, I guess, call it, the parent team. Drew also getting past Motoristi. Does Motoristi have damage here? And he's currently inside Ultimate. He's lagging so much. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but it looks like he's off the track at the moment. I believe he's got damage or no front wing at all after all that lag he's been having. We've got a bit of a train now forming in the midfield. Up front it's getting a bit more spread out. Jago's currently leading from Max Wheatley just over a second. If he can keep that, then he can stay out of the DRS range, as Deering has retired and so has Vahanen. And it looks like there's been a bit of a crash going out of the fast right-hander. Possibly Deering losing the back end and collecting Vahanen as he spun, but that is the Renault and the Ferrari, the first two victims of the season. They were doing pretty well. They were up a good few positions from their starting places. It's unfortunate for them. See if there'll be any other overtakes for Mac Motoristi. He's looking at the inside of Giroux, but can't make anything of it. So it looks like this midfield battle is the one to watch at the moment as the leaders spread themselves out a bit. Matt RFC is way at the back, possibly after a ring change. And Race Addiction has also retired now. That seems to be out of the fast right-hander as well. Yet there is in the wall, so already claimed 3 victims that part of the track. So definitely looking like drivers are struggling through there. Possibly due to the tyres overheating, or maybe just having a bit of high tyre wear after qualifying. Although these guys weren't in the top 10, so I'm not entirely sure why they've been having struggles like this. But the McLaren of Giroux trying to go around the outside of Motoristi into this part of the track. This is probably not a good idea, but he's going to stick it around the outside. They go side by side, still side by side. Motoristi manages to hang it around the outside. It's brilliant defending there from the Red Bull driver, but Giroux's going to try and go around his outside now into the right-hander. He's gone a little bit wide. Oh, he's lost the back end and he's into the wall after tapping Motoristi. Giroux is sideways across the track. He's going to try and get it back around and going again, but he has got wing damage, so that's going to cost him a longer pit stop than normal, plus the extreme amount of time he would have lost from that. He's actually retired from the session. He's called it a day. He doesn't think he can go on and get points from this position. Definitely unfortunate for him. Nothing that either of the drivers could have done in that situation. He just lost grip on the outside of the circuit. It's just unfortunate that he tapped Motoristi and spun it around. This yellow flag's Footy's retired. Oh no, that's one of the front runners as well. Looks like he's also lost the back end, coming out of a fast right-hander in his Force India. So an awful day for some of these drivers today. They've really been unlucky. We've got a virtual safety car out now. This is going to neutralise the race, give the drivers a chance to save some ERS, save some tyre wear, just compose themselves and get ready racing again. So currently it's Jagos who's leading from Max Wheatley. He's got a good enough lead to make sure that Max Wheatley's out of the DRS. Jacques is behind Max Wheatley there in P3, followed by Treble, Ari, XDLS, Mill, Riley, Motoristi, Joe Ultimate in the top 10. Riley's been the biggest gainer. Actually, no, Swami's been the biggest gainer of +7 positions, followed by Astral Morty and Riley, +5 respectively. Astral Morty goes up to +6 and +3 for Swami as they pass the retired card of Footy. But we are back racing again, and Max Wheatley. What's going on? Oh, sorry. Thought he'd been overtaken because of the position change, but no. That's my bad. So yeah, everyone outside the top 10 has made a pit stop, so it's going to be tough for them to get back into this race. So top 10 as it stands could be the top 10 we see coming into the race, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Put the tyre on now. So we got the Mercedes and the Ferrari fighting here. Oh, Jesus, he's absolutely mounting that Mercedes. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. It looks like they're joined by the wheel. Can't be separated from each other. It's certainly interesting to watch, but it looks like Ari is ahead of the Ferrari with some interesting tactics to say the least. I suppose it has worked. I suppose that's what the tactic button at the Mercedes pit wall does. Tardu goes past Astronaut there further down the grid, possibly actually having a little bit of a scrap it seems. Oh, they're into the wall. Looks like both of them have been able to carry on. What's going on here? You just put him into the wall again after that. Oh, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's just purposely taken out Guitar Dude. Right. Well, we're going to move on from that. Excellent on the back of Trade Ball here, who was overtaken by Ari. He's already got a 2-second lead over him, so it looks like the Ferrari is struggling here in the early stages of the race. Can the Red Bull do anything in this twisty part of the track to get through? I'd be surprised if he can. He's probably going to have to wait possibly until the start-finish straight, to be honest, again, or maybe into the upcoming chicane. Lovely helicopter shot we're getting here. Yeah, you can't make a move into the chicane. He's going to have to wait most likely until the start-finish straight to get this move done. Got the Toro Rosso behind him, not too far back, of Riley, who's also in DRS range just about, so you can see a bit of a train starting to form here, with also Joe in the Sauber behind. He's not too far off himself. I doubt we're going to see him move here, be a really late lunge, but he's going to look for it. Nothing you can do though. Good defending from Trade Ball there. We'll see if we can do anything on the start-finish straight. Oh, losing the back end, that's going to cost them a little bit of time to Trade Ball. Could possibly cost him a chance to overtake, but they're both into the pits anyway, so Riley's staying out, Joe's staying out, so it might be just these two coming to the pits. Might have been Mill there reacting to Trade Ball pitting. Mill is going onto the softs. Trade Ball's got a stop-go penalty, it seems. Sorry about that. Yeah, stop-go penalty, possibly for speeding under the virtual safety car, but they're both onto the soft tyres. And it seems like they'll be trying to go to the end of the race from this point. But Mill then jumping Trade Ball on the pit stop due to that stop-go penalty. Jock is right behind Max Wheatley here, so looks like the pole sitter is struggling on his ultra soft tyres. He's been losing time to Jagos ever since he got overtaken into turn 1 on lap 1. Jock is patiently sitting behind, knowing it's not worth trying to go for a move into this part of the track. He's going to the outside now in a much safer area. Shouldn't be too hard for him to make the move done, as Max Wheatley actually seems to let him through. Possibly could be seeing Max Wheatley coming into the pits this lap then. Certainly seems to be that is the case. We shall see though. Yeah, Max Wheatley is into the pit. We'll see if he puts on the soft tyres as well. Some of these guys certainly struggling on their ultra softs. Doesn't seem like Jock and Ghost, Jagos, are having that issue at the moment, but they could well soon have the issue as Ari potentially start gaining them on. But Jagos is in now. He's onto the soft tyre also. So yeah, should be going to the end on those tyres now. We'll see where he comes out. Looks like it's going to be in a good bit of clean air actually. He's got Ultimate ahead of him, who is a bit laggy, which could cause some problems, but he's got some clean air to gain some time. Possibly mean that he will rejoin ahead of Jock and gain some more time onto Jagos, who is still leading after his lap 1 overtake. Not really that much action going on right now. So yeah, we've already had like 7 DNFs. Some poor driving from some drivers just getting unlucky, losing the back end. But what we saw of Ashtonalty will definitely have to be looked at. As Jock comes into the pits now, does not go into the pits, so Jock could gain some time here on the undercut. He should also be going on to the softs. That's super softs, no softs. Stupid game. It is the soft tyres, yeah. So he's going for the undercut on Jagos, possibly to gain some more time, and maybe to make sure he doesn't lose any more time to Ari behind in the other Mercedes. And Mercedes definitely look like one of the strongest outfits at the moment. He's going to come out. Oh, it's going to be side by side with Max Wheatley, who's going to get the better run. There's contact. It looks like there's some damage there. Maybe some carbon fibre off of the McLaren. Can't see any damage on the Mercedes, or the McLaren for that matter, so can't be that extreme. But it's certainly going to hinder one of them, whoever it was. McLaren's looking like he wants to get past on those warmer tyres. He's actually run wide, so it looks like the damage is on the McLaren. Pole sitter Max Wheatley has got damage now. It's really cost him, actually. He's into the gravel and he's into the wall. That is whole front wing gone now. Oh, it's a disaster for the pole sitter. He's out of the race. That's just really unlucky. Just trying to fight it into turn one side by side. Lost a bit of the front wing and he just wasn't able to control the car after that. Really unfortunate for Max Wheatley there. Would have been a great start of the season with the pole position, but hopefully he will bounce back next week at Spain, I believe. As Mill gets a time penalty, I believe. That might have been the first penalty of the session. I haven't seen a lot of them, but Jay goes into the pits now. He's going on for these soft tyres also. Is Jockey going to beat him out? I highly doubt it, but there is potential. We will see. Jay goes exiting the pits now. It's actually going to be ultimate as well, so he's got a big gap back to Jockey. So should be okay. It's got about a 4-second gap to Jock in second place. So we'll see if Jock can get past Ultimate here, who has been lagging throughout the race. Could cause a bit of an issue for the Dutch driver, but we shall see. Jock is really catching Ultimate at the moment. So there's 9 lap old super softs, definitely not being able to match the 1 lap old softs. This could get a bit worrying for Jock as he approaches the lagging Ultimate through a tricky part of the track when you're driving it normally, but with an alien in front of you that's teleporting across the track can be even more difficult. Yeah, he's just rubber banding at the moment. He can't really see if he can make a move into a section of the track or not, but Ultimate's actually going to go into the pits. That's going to make Jock's a lot more easier. Joe now, he's onto the back on Motor EC. Joe's had a good race so far. He's up by 9 positions. He's been doing well. It's nice consistent pace from him, which is always good to see. Really all the top 4 have been having some consistent pace at the moment, with the alternate strategy to the other drivers. Could be seeing them coming to the pit soon though, off the super softs and pitting onto the softs. Joe could possibly try to undercut here if Motor EC doesn't pit, try and gain some time on him. Not really sure how powerful the undercut is on this track, but it will certainly give him somewhat of an advantage. What's my opinion on Jock's gameplay? He seems to be doing very well at the moment. He's driving very smoothly. See here, he's just driving the car very nicely. I know he was in F2 last season, so he should be a title contender for this season in F3. It's looking like that is the way it's going to be going, as he's currently in P6 with a pit stop made. Jay goes ahead of him, so he's in a net P2. We'll just see how his season unfolds. Joe's still just a couple of tenths behind Motor EC here. can't really seem to be able to close the gap in the dirty air of the Red Bull ahead. Motorista actually has a moment and he's into the wall. That's lost him pretty much all of his front wing. Just about caught that. I was looking away for a second, but big moment for Motorista. So I was just complimenting the top four's consistent driving there a few minutes ago, but big mistake from the Red Bull driver, and that's allowed Joe through, and it's going to cost him a longer pit stop than he would have liked. A lot of drivers really struggling at the back end today, so maybe it's just a setup problem some guys have been having, maybe it's a tyre problem, not really sure, but certainly interesting to see. We've already had almost half the grid retire from the race, so hopefully not too many more. It's good to see some of the guys lower down the grid like Matt and Swami keep pushing despite having large deficits. Every point matters at the end of the day as Jay goes it's the new fastest lap of the race. As Ari's into the pits, so we'll see where Ari comes out. Top 4 all into the pits as a matter of fact. Ari comes out in P3. Mill is going to come out in P4. Well, not come out in P4, but he's going to jump a few guys in the pits into P4. Riley P5, Joe P6, Motoristi P7 after a front wing change. And is he going to get overtaken by Tradeball into turn 1? Tradeball cuts off his line, makes sure he can't dive with his nose in. Very good driving from Tradeball there. Thomas gets the new fastest lap of the race. He's currently in P10. We have seen his pace in quali. Unfortunate start meant that he got damaged. They're going to move into P3 on lap 1. So you can see him clawing his way back up through the points. But at the moment it looks like the Toro Rosso's having a good race. The Mercedes having a good race. The Red Bull's having a good race as well, I suppose. So yeah. Other than that, I think both the Saubers are still in. I've got one Williams, one bypass is remaining actually as well. So yeah. Got both the Renaults out, both the Force Indias out, both the McLarens out, one of the Ferraris and one of the Williams out as well. Joe's actually catching on to back of Riley. He's within DRS, so we have DRS down the main straight here. Riley does not have DRS of a mil ahead of him. There's about a 6-second gap, so he's going to be really under pressure here from Joe for P5. Just about the halfway point of this race now. Nice and smooth line from Joe. Thomas is catching up to the back of Ultimate as well. Hopefully he can negotiate that without too much lag, as we've seen other drivers have to cope with throughout the race. Matt's been given a 5-second stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Joe's really catching up here. That's side-by-side action there with Motoristi and Tradeball. I've seen Motoristi trying to go around the outside possibly of Tradeball. We'll see what happens coming into the fast chicane now. He's really gaining on him. Tradeball possibly conserving fuel or conserving his tyres or something, because he doesn't look like he's going full speed through parts of this track. But Joe's really catching up onto the back of Riley here. We could see him move into turn 1 with the assistance of DRS on the Sauber. See what he can do as he puts into, actually Riley puts it into hot lap mode, down into standard now. Joe's too far back to make a move. Motoristi's right on the back of Tradewall. Tradewall's going to defend the inside line going down into turn 1. Smart driving from the Ferrari driver. Can Motoristi hang it around the outside? He tries, but he's off into the grass. There's slight contact. Oh, the Ferrari's into the wall. That's unfortunate. We've seen that so many times in this race now, where drivers going side by side and one of them just ends up in the wall as a effect of some unfortunate contact. But not really much either driver could do in that situation. It's just a bit unfortunate. Tradeball running a good race, and he's 7. He's going to drop down the field now, possibly have to change for a new front wing, and he's actually out of the race as he has no downforce and just goes straight on into the wall. meaning we're down to 11 runners for the first race of the season. Swami on Tarja, so that's the fastest of the race. We've got 24 dead. Hello, ERL Beat. Actually, the Sauber seems to have dropped off the back of Riley here. He was just about 4 or 3 tenths off him at this point of the track last lap. He's currently 9 tenths to almost a second off the back of Riley now. He's going to be in DRS still, but he's too far back really to make a move. He's too far back to make a move at all, really. Hello, Tom Killer. So Thomas has managed to negotiate his way past Ultimate and will be hunting down Motoristi next. But seeing as the gaps are relatively separated right now, we'll take this opportunity to look at the penalties. So J Ghost just has a warning from a few laps ago. Jacques is all clear. Ari's all clear as well. XLS Mill has 1 penalty and a warning. Roddy has 2 warnings, so he needs to be careful of a possible penalty. Just the 1 warning for Joe. Motoristi has a penalty and a warning. Thomas has a penalty and a warning also. Ultimate has a penalty and a warning. Swami just the 1 warning, and Matt with a penalty and 2 warnings. So not really a drive with too many penalties. Looks like everyone's around either got 1 penalty or a couple warnings. It's just Jacques who's completely clean. But yeah, race is starting to die down a bit now, as everyone's on their stint until the end of the race. So it's down to drivers to close the gaps, push as hard as they can now. XLS Mill on 10-lap old tyres. He's going to struggle towards the end of the race here with a tyre wear. Could possibly see him fall back into Riley and Joe if he's not careful. But it's been certainly an eventful race so far, with almost half the grid retiring. Hopefully we'll see less retirements next week and some more action. But there's certainly been some drama already this season, as Ultimate's actually retired from the session. That's Motoristi I've just caught spinning off into the wall as well. So that is a shame for the Red Bull driver. He was running a decent race in 7th place there. But he's now without a front wing, as Ultimate's also retired. I wonder where that is most likely on the fast left-right chicane coming up here for Swami. We'll just check. But that is half the grid now out of the race, which is quite astonishing really. But yeah, it seems he did retire for that part of the track there, which is not surprising. There's a front wing change for Motoristi in the pit stop now. They come out, should come out in P8 relatively comfortably on fresh super soft, so I suppose he doesn't have any more ultra soft to use. Yeah, he should come out in P8 with maybe a couple seconds gap behind. Actually, it's going to be a lot closer than I expected. It's only going to be a few temps. Most of Swami could get a run going down into turn 4. He certainly has got that run. So he's going to put up the ERS mode now. Try and go around the outside of Motoristi on his cold tyres. See what he can do. Sticks it around the outside. Just not able to make the move. See if he'll be able to make a move later into the lap, or if he'll just have to stick behind. This is really the only battle we've got going on at the moment. The Red Bull and the Haas fighting for P8 here. Lap 19 out of 29, 10 laps to go. Effectively 11, but... Maturity picking up a time penalty there, actually. So that could cost them. Seems like Swami is a bit too far back to go for a move into turn 1, but possibly down to turn 4. Seems he's still a bit too far back. So we could just see Motoristi pull away from Swami here. But we'll see if he can keep with him. He needs to stay within DRS to make sure he has a chance. So we can't afford to make any mistakes here. It does look like Motoristi is pulling away, which is unfortunate for you viewers. I understand there's not a lot of action going on at the moment, which is probably not great to watch, but that's how racing is sometimes, I suppose. I'm sure the guys leading the race won't be complaining too much. Swami has now dropped out of the DRS range, so coming on start-finish straight, he will not have DRS, and for the foreseeable future, he will have DRS. Jacobs actually picks up a time penalty there, and he's really losing the back end there. That's going to cost him a bit of time to jump behind, and I believe that is Jacobs' first penalty. I believe it is. It is. Jacques has not got a warning still. Ari neither. So the Mercedes looking pretty good out here today, but Jacques only needs to find 1 second to effectively take the win of this race. Ari is only 4 seconds off Jacques, so the Mercedes really push here. We could possibly see a Mercedes 1-2, which would be a great start for the season for them. We'll keep an eye on Chagos. He is falling back a little bit to the grass while Jacques. Just 8 tenths needed now by Jacques to win the race. Negotiates that part of the track smoothly this time. Jacques does the same, followed by his teammate in Ari. 10-second gap back after that to Mill. Followed by Riley, Joe and Thomas to Sauber teammates, P7 and P6 respectively. Motoristi on through stop currently P8, 33 seconds back from Thomas. Swami unfortunately not able to challenge Motoristi for that P8. And Matt running at the back, he's been at the back from pretty much the start. I honestly do respect how he's managed to keep going. He's going to get himself at least a point, which is great to see. Varlad really deserves that point after what he's had to push through this race. It's good to see he's still going. It looks like Jagos is actually coming up to lap map, so it's a lap less he'll have to do, which is sure he won't be minding. Should be respectfully getting out of the way of Jagos relatively soon, as Thomas picks up a time penalty, which could cost him if he catches up from Joe. Again, smoothly through the trickiest part of the track there for Jagos. Jacques is only just over 5 cents behind him now, so it's going to come close at the end of this race. It could come down to Matt possibly holding up Jay goes a bit as he comes up to lap him. That could be what costs Jay goes a race with him possibly, but hopefully Matt will respectfully leave enough room for Jagos to not have to compromise his line or speed to pass him. Ari is catching Jockey really quickly as well now, so Mercedes 1-2 isn't out of the question just yet. Toro Rosso driver Jagos will want to take his, I believe this might be his first ERL victory. I know he was racing a bit last season, I don't know if he took a win or not. But the qualified P2 got a brilliant overtake into turn 1 into Max Whitley, who's unfortunately retired at this point in the race, but he's been leading ever since turn 1, effectively. We don't include pit stops, of course. Ari just 2.5 seconds behind Jock, so we could possibly see a swap in the Mercedes if Ari is going considerably quicker. You could see Ari be able to catch Jagos, because Jock is kind of stuck just 5 tenths behind him after penalties are applied. So we could see some team orders come into play, but I doubt it at this early stage of the season. As Mill picks up a time penalty, that's going to drop him 3 seconds back to Riley. Ari's kind of stalling out on the time gain to Jacques as well now at this point, so it's going to be interesting coming to the final laps of this race now. Jagos has got Matt ahead of him now, so hopefully Matt will let him through relatively easily quite soon. The blue flags are coming out. Looks like Matt's going to slow down and go to the inside, so not costing Jagos any time at all there. Although Jock is now just about 2 tenths behind Jagos after that penalty is applied, so it's going to come down to the wire. We're 1.9 seconds behind Jock as well. As Jock now approaches Matt also. Hopefully we'll once again not make it too hard for the leaders to get past him. He doesn't want to risk losing his point, which he fully deserves at this point in the race. But Jock really isn't just... he needs to find us a couple more attempts and he has to win. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it though with just about 4 or 5 laps left to go. It's only going to be close. It's actually dropped a couple of tenths through that part of the track now. He's now 5 tenths off. As Ari's continuing to catch. That looks like the rest of the field is stabilising out in position, so looks like it's just down to penalties to sort out the rest of the top 10. But Ari is on the theoretically best tyre of the top 3, considering they're only 12 laps old compared to Jacques, who's a 16, and Jagos, who are 15. Jacques now approaches a Matt, who should hopefully just move to the side on the start-finish straight now. As it seems he's doing, is he? There we go, nice. Jock unfortunately not able to get DRS off him actually, which is a bit of a shame, but Ari is now behind Matt. And again Matt respectfully getting out of the way of the leaders. just the 1.5 temp gap between Jock and J Ghost now, due to that penalty. Ari just 1.3 seconds off that as well. So it's going to be extremely close between the top three here. As it stands, Jock currently has the win. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Swami's retired from the race. I'm not entirely sure where that would have been, but that's put us down to 9 runners now, and it's given Matt an extra point on what he would have had previously. Should not affect anyone else's race too much. There he is. He's into the wall. A common part of the track there to bin it. So Matt picks up a penalty. But Jock has dropped back, and he's now 2 tenths off the lead. So I think Riley's had a moment. Riley is sideways there. So that has promoted Joe and Thomas up into P5 and P6. The Toro Rosso driver, who's having a good job. Doing a good job, sorry. He's going to really help out the constructors for Toro Rosso, but it's unfortunate as Sauber now claim 2 positions as a team. But with just about 3 laps to go, it is J Ghost who is leading by 66 hundredths. Effectively. Joke is now just about under that 3-second margin again, so it's changing almost every couple of seconds. It's going to be close. I don't think Ari's going to be able to catch enough by the end of the race to take P1 or 2. Apologise for the cough there, but that happens sometimes, you know. Anyway. Jock is still just a temp in it. Going into the penultimate lap now. Into turn 4. Nice and smooth. Very flowing part of the track this. It's hooked up perfectly. Turisti picking up a 3-second time penalty. That shouldn't affect him too much, as Matt is pitted for the ultra softs, most likely going to attempt the fastest lap. Don't believe we have the point for the fastest lap of the top 10 award available, but go for it, son. Jockey's actually gaining a fair bit on J Ghost now. He's about 4 tenths in that margin he needs. 5 tenths now. So it's looking promising for the Dutch driver. He's claiming that the first win of ERL Season 6. He's really gaining 2.4 seconds now, so he's going to need a killer final lap from J Ghost. He's need to find 8 tenths now, effectively. I don't think he has it in the car. He's relatively low on ERS compared to Jock. Ari is a little bit less than Jock. But yeah, it's 2-second the gap now. I think Jock has the win in the bag. Ari now also just about needs 5 tenths in his final lap to take P2. 6 tenths. That's 5 tenths, so we'll see if he can manage that. So we could well see a Mercedes 1-2 here for the first round of the season in Australia. We're flying in sector 1. Not entirely sure what that is for. Going to final section of the track now, the first race of the season here in ERL Season 6 F3. It's going to be J Ghost who crossed the line for P1, I believe. It's had a good race, but on penalties it will be going to Jock. He's had a flawless race. So coming to the penultimate corner now. Joe is only a couple of attempts off Mill, so that yellow flag might have been for Mill, who's struggling on his 22-lap old soft tyres, but it's going to be Jay Ghost who takes the win, but Jock is going to get it on penalties. Ari finishes P3 by 2 tenths of a second. Joe and Thomas are both past Mill, so it's P4 and P5 for Sauber, so a great finish for them. See what happens when penalties come into play here for these guys. But a great performance from Mercedes and Sauber alike. Saubers have had to fight their way through the field today, but it's been great to see. As they come across the line now, it's going to be Joe P4, Thomas P5 and Mill P6, so they stay as they cross the line. Riley in the other Toro Rosso, Jago's teammate, is going to come across line P7. And it's going to be Motoristi in the Red Bull, the final car to come across the line. So both the Mercedes, both the Toro Rossos, both the Saubers, both the Red Bulls and one of the Williams are the cars that finished the race today. That's P8 for Motoristi. So Jacques gets the first win of the season in the ERL F3. He's got to be down as one of the main title contenders alongside his teammate Ari. And what we've seen today, possibly Jay Ghost and Max Wheatley as well. With maybe some other drivers like Thomas, who had an unfortunate start, but managed to claw his way back up through the field. But the podium celebrations here for the top 3 drivers after round 1. Very enjoyable race to commentate on. Would have been nice to see a few more cars finish the race, but it is what it is. Most of the results were a bit unfortunate. I just realised I was calling Jacques Dutch the whole time and he's actually finished. That is my bad. I do apologise for that. But yeah, it is Jacques who wins the race, followed by Jay Ghost, Ari, Joe and Thomas, P4 and 5 for Sauber, P6 for Mill after a disaster on the final lap, P7 for Riley in the other Toro Rosso, partnering up with Jay Ghost. Motoristi finishes P8 in the Red Bull, and Matt is the final finisher in P9, a well-deserved couple points after a pretty shocking race to be honest, but he managed to keep going. Swami, Ultimate, Trade Ball, Max Wheatley, Astronautic, Guitar Dude, Footy, Giroux, Deering, Race Addiction and Vehanen all retire from the first race of the season. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's commentary. I will possibly be back with you for next week in Spain for round 2. Must say I've enjoyed this evening's commentary and race. Drivers put on a good show, but that's it for F3 round 1, and see you next time. And tune into F2 in just about 50 minutes time.